All right, guys. So, Sunday evening, doing my weekly forecast now. So, preparing for the week and see what is going to be setting up. So, just to recap from this week, we had three trades. Well, so the EU break even, which ended running on to take profit. We had GBP, sorry, NZD USD, which I got closed out on here at market close, end of the week. Funded next took me out of my position. Actually don't know why. And then GP NZD take profit, and we're missing G Swiss break even. So once we broke above here, I go to break even. What I'm testing is after either we create a new 4 hour structure, so this point here, or we close past 30-40% towards our position. I'll be going to break even on these large swing positions. Cool. So let us see what is in store for this week. So obviously, with the announcement of the tariffs, Trump again on Friday, AUD and NZD are going to take a hit from this because obviously they rely heavily or they're affected heavily by tariffs because of course a lot of importing and exporting down there. So they're going to be extremely weak now. So all of the crosses. So this is the Euro AUD cross, very bullish on all of these. Bearish in anything AUD and NZD related, basically. So huge closure in one day, going from the low of the month literally to the high of the month in one day. It's crazy. So this was not did not have this on my watch list. I missed this low of the month. Beautiful. So we have one, two, three push down, level one, level two, level three. So we can see here, we have a full cycle up, and then we have level one, level two, level three pushes down into the 618, false break of the low of the month, and then a break of structure on the 4 hour. Beautiful setup. And then, of course, all these moves are tied in with the news, which is actually something I want to mention that non farm payroll. So we can see here, this is this week's news. We have nothing on Monday, tomorrow. Powell is speaking tomorrow at 11:20 a.m. So a bit of a weird time, late in the day, and then these are all tentative again, tentative. And look at this. So non-farm NFP is next Tuesday, which is very strange. Oh no, sorry, next Thursday. Next Thursday, I read that wrong. Next Thursday, strange. NFP on a Thursday. I don't know what that's tied in with, the reasoning behind that. Honestly, I'm thinking it's something got to do with like something astrological based, because why is it not just on the Friday? Why have they delayed it for 2 weeks now and then putting it on a Thursday? Why is it 23rd? I don't know. Again, this whole thing is just matrix moves, all this tariff crap. To me, it's just complete matrix. Like they're just making money on the way up. Then they say, okay, yeah, we're not going to have the tariffs. We're going to have a 3 month delay, and then markets go down, and it's just nonsense. But giving lots of opportunity. So, nonetheless, the reasoning behind it doesn't matter. The markets will still trade based on that. So, looking at EA, we've just taken out the high of the month. So we can get rid of some of these old lines now. But it's just very nice to see just wicking, like, look at these areas. They're just brilliant. Like, if we just pay attention to the monthly extremes and nothing else, you have a brilliant chance of winning. Like, look at this, just beautiful trading. So, and then also tying it in with the fibs. So here was the move down. So we front side, back side. Here's the beginning of the move down. We measure the leg and we extend it to the 618. So now we've reversed. So now we can get rid of that and now redraw our fib, but for the other side. So now we're long. So we've taken the monthly extreme and now we are long. If we have on the monthly, from a liquidity perspective, clearly long. From a market structure perspective, neither here nor there. Extremely bullish, like overall, direction wise. And this is again just kind of a pullback. But if we're going to be pedantic about it, the most recent closure was short. But then, yeah, liquidity wise, bullish. So monthly, I would be saying bullish. Weekly, fucking hell, look at that for a closure. Bullish. Daily, bullish. And yeah, everything's bullish. So this is very clearly something we want to be looking for longs on. So we'll set my alert at the 50% level. And again, when we're setting our alerts or looking for areas to price can retrace from, I'm always looking left and looking at structure. So saying, okay, when we're retesting off an area, we'll likely retest off structure, like a previous structure point, that is. So we could meet some some support here, and then find some support here. It would be lovely if it came the whole way down, down to this support area, the 618, the 4-hour fib, but who knows? Let's have the alert there and see what happens. Oopsie, cool. Let's try with GBP CAD then next. So GBP CAD, monthly bullish. Monthly definitely bullish. Weekly bullish. Daily's bearish. So the daily, we have a structure point here, a small one, but we've broken structure now. But because all the other higher time frames are bullish, the higher time frames, I'm looking at this as the pullback into that area. So here's the move up, here's the move down. Liquidity perspective, we've just taken the buy side, so the next draw on liquidity will be up here. And then the 4-hour has just shifted as well. So this is actually very nice. So now we've pulled into that area, we can get rid of this fib and now redraw our fib. So this is the shift now where the 4-hour is now in line with the monthly and the weekly. So this is also looking nice. So 4-hour in line with the monthly and the weekly. Set our alert minimum at the 50% level. And now the 4-hour is shifted to be in line there. We do have the low of the month down here, but this shift is kind of pretty significant. But nonetheless, let's... I know it's not the low of the month. It's not at all. It's just inner range liquidity. That's okay. Cool. Yeah, so this shift is pretty significant. Again, if we're looking at this from a 4-hour perspective, we'd be thinking, right, okay, pump, sideways behavior, false break, dump one. But because of the higher time frames, that's what's giving us our direction. So if I was just looking at this in the 4-hour, I'd be thinking, okay, this looks like it's going down. We're rejecting the 4-hour EMA, broken structure, pulled back to this area. But we have to use the higher time frames. And yeah, the higher time frames are screaming long. Monthly and weekly, both long. Weekly, from a liquidity perspective, we've just taken the buy side and closed back inside. So, and then from the daily, yes, the daily we have shifted, but we now have the monthly, the weekly, and the 4-hour in line. So I'm looking at longs for this alert set here. We can look for buys on GBP CAD. G Swiss. So let us see. So this trade has been recorded. I'm just going to leave that there just in case I haven't taken a screenshot. So monthly, short, still short. We have an inside month? No, we don't. False break. So monthly, short, weekly. Short, nice bearish closure last week. Daily, short. Cool, this market looks good for shorts. And the 4 hour. What is the 4 hour printing? Short as well. Cool, so I'm just gonna get rid of, put that in there and just like that. And now we're looking for shorts. So I'm gonna measure this whole move down from top to bottom, wick to wick. And we are now pulled back up into the 618-ish area, and we have tagged the 4 hour EMA as well. Interesting. Cool. I'm going to set my alert on the 618 to see if we do pull up, because this is not a very significant move. Let's see if we do come up to the 618. I know we pretty much did here. But yeah, let's just see if we pull back up. I don't want to take any trades now in Asia on a Monday. Only lower time frame trading, but I'm not doing lower time frame trading now. So we did have the false break, got an expansion. So we traded this. This was a win. No, this was a loss. This was a loss. We got tagged out here, and it went to our take profit, but we were already out of the position. And then this was a break even. So we were up, and then we went to break even here, and then we got taken out of break even here. So this was a valid break even. Valid meaning price didn't continue to our take profit after tagging us out. It ended up reversing. So the break even saved us. Cool. So this looks like it's going short, and I'll be waiting for potential short entries. Let's just have a look at it on the 1 hour and just see what we're looking at. Okay, so the market's opened up, and okay, this price action I'm not loving. Also, we are at the low of the month, the current month. We had a false break of that, so let's just keep that in mind. This is a seek and destroy behavior. So we have big move up, big move down, pull back inside, call volume. This is reversal type behavior. When we see this, I'm thinking reversal. If we drop down to the, very big move up, big move down, big move down, big move up. This is a very choppy market. I'm going to be inclined to leave this for now, definitely for now, and let's see how this sets up tomorrow. So GBP CAD is in play. GBP CAD is in play long, so I'll leave that there. GBP CHF is in play short. DXY. What is the dollar telling us? So from a market structure perspective, very, very short. From a liquidity perspective, long. What did last week close like? Very, very, very bullish, and we've taken that liquidity there. We have swept all of this liquidity, which we were looking for the dollar to run. So still framing this from a 3-month perspective. So what do we expect a 3-month candle to do? We expect it to go up, so open up, create a wick, and then eventually move down. But with everything that's happening in the markets now, the dollar is extremely bullish. So I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm just trading what I'm seeing, and the dollar is extremely bullish. Like, this is an extremely bullish weekly closure. From structure perspective, very bullish. However, we have swept the liquidity here, but still the market structure comes first for me, and then liquidity comes second. So I'm bullish on the dollar, even though we've taken all this liquidity. We have this area here, which is 100% expansion. So we've measured an inner range inside here. We'll drop down to the daily, see if the daily is also bullish. Big move up. And then the 4 hour has shifted bearish. Yeah, shifted bearish from the previous leg here and from the current leg. So immediately, we're not taking any trades. We can get rid of these fibs now. These fibs are old. So is this fib. So now what we can do is we are bullish. So let's draw on our fib. So this is actually the beginning of the month. So from the beginning of the month, we've had this move up. So alerts getting set here. And now we're going to be waiting for the 4-hour to ideally come down to this area and then shift bullish. So I do not want to be counter trending the 4-hour in this market. And I'm just going to make this fib available on the 4-hour as well. Cool. Because we just have one fib. So I just want to see this one fib. Ooh, 0.5 lines up with the H4 fib. Nice. And lines up with structure point. So again, these are all of these the same way that we have areas of interest for take profits. They often line up the same way with areas of interest for where we're looking to take trades from. So all three of those are lining up. This would be a lovely area to long from. So if we could see something like Monday and Tuesday come down, Monday, Tuesday come down here, create a bit of a range, put in a peak formation, and then we shift bullish. Boom, longs all day, baby. Cool. So dollar in play long. Lovely. AUD USD in play short. We'll get to that. USD CHF will be in play long as well because it's following the dollar. And last week, U-Swiss was very much in line with the dollar in terms of how it looked. So monthly short. From a liquidity perspective, we've just taken last month's liquidity. So probably also short. Let's have a look at the weekly. Bullish. So weekly's long. And again, we came down. So volume into the low, sideways behavior, false break, boom. So this was the previous month's high. We've just wicked above that, but we closed bullish. So paying attention to, because it's again the weekly and the monthly, we look at where does the candle close. So this candle closed, the body closed outside of this range. This side is behavior. This is all a range, and we closed outside of it. We could have wicked up the whole way here and body closed inside. That wouldn't be a close in breakout. This has actually closed in breakout. So we broke out of the range and stayed outside. Not a strong closing breakout. A strong closing breakout would be closing upward up here. But again, closing breakout nonetheless. And then, so weekly's bullish. So monthly's bearish, weekly's bullish, daily is bullish. 4-hour has just shifted bearish. So let's get rid of, do we need to get rid of this? Yes, we do. Let's have a look at the daily. So now let's identify which range are we trading in. Maybe I didn't need to get rid of that. Let's use the whole month. Same fib. So pulling back now into the 618 area. So this is an area where we can look for longs from. But we want to wait for the 4-hour to shift. Okay, this looks nice for longs, actually. This does look nice for longs. Only thing I'm not liking, though, is just a false break of the previous month. I just hate, as you all know, hate trading against false breaks of previous months because it's the strongest confluence I've identified from my data that is determining the direction of a trade. We do not want to be counter-trending a false break. So for that, I'm going to put it into waiting because just had that false break. Don't need to. GBP USD is going to be short for sure. And these we can check out. USD CAD looking very, very bullish. Monthly extremely bullish. Yeah, so big move up, big move down, but no structural break. So if we look at the monthly, we pulled right past the 786 down to the monthly fib. Sorry, monthly EMA. Very deep pullback. Weekly, oof, look at this. This is a market in breakout. So we have sideways behavior and then breaking out. So typical breakout behavior is this. You'll probably be able to see it clearer on the daily. Yeah. So we have the breakout. So we have the range, the consolidation, false break of that range, and then the breakout. Typically then we'll get diagonal behavior, which people will be thinking, okay, we just had a big pump up, let's take the short. But this is textbook breakout behavior. Coil volume in the direction of the trend for the next expansion up. So this is to me is looking extremely bullish. Let us get rid of this fib now. This is an old fib, and measure the most recent move up. So I'm going to use this move here. We have a false break here and a move up. So we've already tagged the 50%. Let's see if we can set an alert here and come down to the 618. 4 hour shifted bearish. So this is lovely, guys. This is really nice. And again, we're looking at, okay, where are we going to come down to use as support? Already tagged the 50%. Let's see if we can tag the 618, which will also be in line with this structure over here. So this is beautiful for longs, beautiful for longs. So that is in play long. And Euro UAD, we've already been through that, so in play long. So 3 very nice longs setting up: GBP CAD, USD CAD, and Euro AUD. Now let's have a look at the shorts. So monthly bullish. And from a liquidity perspective, we've just taken the buy side. So the next draw will be to the sell side liquidity, way to the upside. Monthly bullish, sorry, monthly bearish, weekly bearish, monthly bullish, monthly bullish, weekly bearish, daily bearish, 4 hour bullish. Okay, so what do we have to look at here? We have the dollar, which is looking very bullish, and we have a mixture of different biases from the higher time frame. So we have the monthly, which is bullish, and then the weekly and daily, which are bearish. So weekly and daily are bearish, and looking at this, if we're looking at it from the market cycles, what stage does it look like we're in? So pump, peak locked, dump 1, false advertisement, dump 2. Looking at this and thinking this could be coming for dump 3, let's say, to take out this liquidity here from August's low. But we definitely want to wait until the 4 hour shifts in line with that. So we can draw a new fib. Let's see what range we're playing with. I'm going to extend this out. Delete this, sorry. Delete that. I don't need this alert anymore. And let's have a look at the range. So I'm going to measure this from this move down here. There is wicks here, but we have closed above this body here. So this is like move up, move down. So that's why I'm going to draw it from here, because those wicks were invalidated here because we closed above. So big move down, and now we can anticipate Monday or Tuesday pump back up into this area. Monday, Tuesday, initial balance, creating that initial range that we're going to then expand later on in the week. So the daily and the weekly are both bearish. So the 4 hour will shift bullish if we are to have a reversal. Let's set an alert here. Again, at structure point, big structure point would be here above the 618. So we have the 4 hour EMA and the 618 lining up. So 618 could be a nice area to look for a short position from. And then we have had the false break of the low of the month. But what I'm looking at is we did actually close outside it. So remember, false breaks is when we pin out and then pull back inside. Here we did pin out and stay outside for a day, so we closed in breakout outside. Still, from a liquidity perspective, we have taken the low of the month. So let's see how this sets up. We want it to be looking very nice for shorts. We want to see lots of nice space, pump up, sideways behavior, dump, because we do have the false break of the low of the month there. Keep it on the charts for sure. And this now, AUD USD, this is going to be selling off like a motherfucker. So, one, we have dollar strength right now. And two, we've got AUD weakness. So, this is literally uh, both sides are pushing this down. So, we literally just want to be looking for shorts here. Get rid of this. Let's still do our top down analysis. So, monthly perspective, we are bullish. We very bullish. Weekly, let's have a look. I'm guessing last week, yeah, massive. So look at this. So this is the weekly. So we want to validate the price action, or at least take into account the price action. Look what we achieved here. We closed, swallowed up this whole move here. So not only did we break structure here, we broke structure here as well. So on the previous leg and the current leg, and we engulfed the neckline here. Very, very, very bearish weekly closure. Whoa, look at that. From the daily, whoo, swallowed up the entire month here. So month begins. So this is now, I'm looking at like front side, backside, front side, backside. This is our high of the month locked in. So like this is our area that we're looking to invalidate. Until we invalidate this area here, we're looking for shorts. So, poof, this is looking great for shorts. Really, really nice. I want to be selling this pair this week. So, I'm going to measure the last move down. There we go. And 50% level. So 618 lines up with previous structure here. I'm going to set an alert here at this structure point in between the 0.5 and 618. Actually, I'm going to move it to the 50% level because it's such a big move down. Okay. Yeah, this looks beautiful, beautiful, beautiful for shorts. So we want Monday or Tuesday. Again, we've swept the monthly low. Okay, so we can see this on multiple pairs now. We've taken liquidity from a monthly extreme. So let's use this as a case study and observe what happens this week and think, okay, we don't like to trade against monthly false breaks. Maybe we can then add in a except for when, like what's it called? A caveat. Or, yeah. And again, when we don't like to trade against monthly false breaks is especially once we get volume into the low, then the sideways ranging behavior, which typically will start before the false break. So like at least slowing down the false break in the sideways behavior and then the move. This has just gone straight down and actually probably closed outside. Yeah, closed outside the range. No sideways behavior as of yet. So we've had the false break, as in, no, we haven't even had the false break. We've had the break of the previous month, but we don't have the characteristics or the market behavior to back it up. Like I would not in any shape or form be longing this right now because we don't have, yes, we have the volume into the low, first check. Yes, we've broken out of the previous month, second check, but we don't have the sideways coil behavior. And that's the biggest thing really. Like even here, look, we get the volume into the low and then we want to see that sideways behavior, even if it's on, whether it's on the 4 hour or the daily, we have to get that sideways behavior. Here, sideways behavior. Here, very clear peak formation, diagonal coiled volume. Here we don't have that at all. So I'm not thinking this is actually going to be a false break. I'm thinking this is a breakout, pull back, continue. That's what I'm looking at anyways. So AUD USD for shorts. And then G-Swiss, we've already been through that. G-Swiss I'm going to put into waiting because I don't love it. There we go. There's lots of nice stuff setting up here that I don't want to waste time on something that isn't obvious. Euro USD then will be the same story. So monthly, very bullish. From liquidity perspective, we took out the high of the month. Now we've taken out the low of the month. Neither here nor there. Monthly isn't telling us anything. So weekly, telling us a lot. Huge weekly engulfment. Liquidity perspective, yeah, we've just taken out here, but we have also taken out up here. So again, liquidity isn't telling us anything, but structure-wise, look at that for a closure, swallowing up weeks and weeks and weeks. Daily, very bearish, big shift. So let's get rid of all this now. Get rid of all that and draw a new fib. So we want to identify where is the most recent break of structure, what range are we trading in between, looking at it on the daily and then the 4 hour. So what we can do, two options here. We can use this wick here or this one here. Let's look at it on the daily again and just see which one. I'm going to use this one here. One, because it's the month full move down. There we go. And we look at on the 4 hour. It is the same thing. Cool. So it's actually this 4 hour move down, which is on the daily, gives us the high of the month wick. So always just flick through the time frame, see what's the most clear one, what makes the most sense. Sometimes you can check the weekly. I don't typically draw my fibs with the weekly, but sometimes it can present like that. Cool. So I'm going to get rid of this here. We just had a move down, big move down in the daily. We're now expecting the 4 hour to shift bullish, create some market structure to pull up into this area to then short from. Again, pump, peak locked, dump. So we want to see a false advertisement. We want this again. We want to pump up, sideways behavior, dump. That's what we want to see here. Although this does look more so than GBP USD, potential for reversal. Just by the way we've gone down and then up, sideways behavior, we stalled a little bit, but still I'm anticipating shorts. So I'll mark out. So the 4 hour fib lines up with the 50% level. Previous structure is here. Gonna set my alert. Yeah. There we go. In play short, but I will want this to look very nice. I want a nice pump up, sideways behavior, false break, shift to short this. But yeah, shorts still. And yeah, this shorts as well. So what we can do is get rid of this fib here. And now look at the most recent move down. Put that in there. Measure the move down. And look for trades inside this area. So I'm going to set my alert at the 618, not the 0.5. And yeah, and wait and see how this sets up. Again, very bearish on this. So partly because of the whole talk of the tariffs, it's just bad for New Zealand being all the way down at the bottom of the world. Tariffs will really affect them. And yeah, with the dollar strength. So dollar strength will be pushing this down. New Zealand weakness will be pushing this down. Plus all the market structure. So market structure, big shift was bearish. Again, we do have a bearish candle here, which you could say this is a shift in structure. But because of all the fundamentals, the weekly, look at that for a closure. Very bearish closure. Daily, very bearish closures. This is actually maybe the better range that we should be looking at. Looking at this now. This big move down here. So if we draw the fib from there to there, this is our 618 of the 4 hour fib. Actually, you know what? I will leave This is a case of now like which area, which move down we want to use. Do we want to use this move, which is the daily move, or do we want to use the 4 hour move here? We do have 1 push, 2 push, 3 pushes here. It's like a full 1 hour cycle, probably. A little reset, yeah, 1 push, 2 push, 3 pushes. Yeah, we could look for a trade up in this area here. Like I'm looking at this whole area here as potential for shorts. Like this is our selling zone here. So fuck it, let's leave the 4 hour fib on there. Wick to wick. And yeah, we can just have this visible on the 4 hour, not on the daily. Cool. And it's definitely get rid of that 0.5. I don't want to see that here. It's not a volume shift. Cool. So long story short. Oh, GBP NZD. Last one. GBP NZD. What are we working with? Monthly extremely bullish as per. Weekly extremely bullish. Huge closure there on the weekly. Daily. What a closure. Bullish. So 4 hour bullish as well. So this is just wow. It's been sensational over these past few weeks. Just close your eyes and buy GBP NZD. Let's move this over here. Let's delete our fibs and redraw. Low to high. This one we can use at 50%. We've been taking trades off the 50% on this. And also previous month highs are very strong support levels. Support resistance levels. So add my alert here. And let's wait for this to come down. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday, let's see what happens. But long. So let's move it into long. Cool. So just looking at the watch list here, what can we notice? We can see CAD. We're looking to long CAD pairs. So this is CAD weakness. USD CAD, GBP CAD, CAD weakness, dollar strength. So we do have dollar strength. So dollar strength will typically push down GBP USD. So out of GBP CAD and USD CAD, I feel safer buying USD CAD because we have dollar strength and CAD weakness. And yeah, dollar super bullish. So we're going to be longing all dollar pairs and then shorting dollar crosses like GBP USD, AUD USD, Euro USD. Out of the dollar crosses, I'm more inclined. AUD USD is just the best setup for me. So this is my favorite. NZD USD would be my second favorite. GBP USD third favorite, and Euro USD fourth favorite. So yeah, GU does look very nice as well. And then in terms of longs, we can see NZD and AUD on the right hand side. So they're on the left hand side here because they're weak. On the right hand side here because they're weak. So we're betting against them. Yeah, Euro AUD looks clean as fuck. Super clean. GBP NZD same. So yeah, actually setting up for a very nice week. Lots of opportunities there. These are going to be my main focuses. And yeah, the ends very nice as well. But I've got a lot on my watch list there. So for now, I'm just going to leave it at these. Cool. Have an amazing week, everyone. And yeah, I will touch base soon.